Hi there, welcome to another video. So what I'm going to be doing today is utilising the leftover cauliflower from yesterday's meal, and I'm going to be putting my own spin on the Spanish paella. So the ingredients for this is going to be garlic, I've got some red and white onion, I'm going to make like a sofrito, which is basically like an onion, garlic, sort of tomato, passata, aromatic base for the arborio rice. You can use paella rice, but I'm using arborio rice. That's all I've got today. I'm going to put some spicy chipotle chili paste in there, not a lot. I actually did find in my larder, which I thought I ran out of, is a tiny bit of smoked paprika, which will go down nicely. I've got parsley. I managed to get my hands on some parsley, which is great, and traditionally that's what you use in a paella. I've got some mint as well. I just thought that would be nice because that will complement with the lemon as well. That'd be really nice. I've got some chicken and some beef stock, passata, and what I've actually done in advance to save a bit of time is I've just basically blanched these tomatoes. So what you can see is look, the skin just comes off like easy. So that's a blanched tomato. This one has already got its skin on, but literally all I'm doing is just peeling that skin, yeah? And then it just easily comes off. So I'm just going to take these skins off the tomatoes, first of all. Okay, and discard them. There's not really much I can do with them. Okay, a fresh tea towel. Every day I'm cooking, I'm using a fresh tea towel just to make sure hygiene wise. Okay, so what I'm going to do just to get started, just put a bit of rapeseed oil in the pan. Okay, again to speed things up for you guys, I'm going to be using the wok burner. Just put it on a little, like a medium heat to just get it going. I'm going to put the garlic in there, straight in there. Okay, and whilst that's just heating up, what I'm going to do, I've got like the blanched tomatoes, I'll just go in there. And then I'm going to put like a bit of passata in there. That's just what's left over from the last couple of meals that I had. Running low on everything at the moment, guys. So whatever you've got, just utilise it, yeah? And the great thing about a paella is you can use anything, just throw anything in there, you know? You don't have to use chicken, you know? You could use prawns or chorizo, whatever you've got available, okay? So I've got that. And what else am I going to put in there? Some tomato puree. And that is going to form, this is almost like a tube of toothpaste. Like just literally squeezing every last little bit out of there. Okay? Right, so that's done. Just going to put that aside for 1 second. And then the rice, the rule of thumb for the rice is basically, you want to use, say, like half a cup of rice per like 1 1/4 cups of stock. So if I use, because I want to utilise the rice for tomorrow's dish, which you won't find out till tomorrow, I'm going to use like a whole cup of rice in this dish. Okay, a whole cup of arborio rice. Okay, that means I need 2.5 cups of stock. Okay, this garlic's just heating up nicely there. In goes the onions. Just give it a little whiz around the pan. Okay. I'll put a tiny bit of this chipotle paste in there, maybe like a teaspoon. Depends how spicy you like it, you know. I've also got a little bit of dried thyme. Just going to put a little bit of that in. Doesn't really matter what stage it goes in at. I'm just going to utilise that. Literally every last bit of food. No waste to it, guys. We just add a little bit of flavour to the base, you know, the onions and the garlic. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to get like like a fork and just kind of like mash it up a bit, yeah? Because I couldn't actually get any tin tomatoes, can you believe that? Every one in Tesco is, I just use Tesco Express. I'm not going to go to a big supermarket with this coronavirus, I don't want to risk it. So there's obviously queues even outside the Tesco Express, but there's not that many people there, luckily, you know. So, but obviously everyone is using, more often than not, people are using like tins, just turning that burner down. More often than not, people are using like tinned ingredients rather than cooking from fresh. So I haven't once used tinned tomatoes, but that's fine. It gives me, I was actually wanting to use it today, but it gives me a chance to show you how to make some homemade tomato sauce, right? So again, it's benefiting you. And also, it's a bit of fun for me, it keeps me busy. Considering I haven't got any work on, right? That's the whole reason why I've got time to do these videos. Okay, so that's almost like just a rustic, sort of like homemade like tomato sauce in there. Okay. So that's fine. Just take that off the heat. And then in goes the rice. Okay, in goes the rice. Just give it a little stir off the heat, yeah? Because I want to burn this right, because the pan's still very hot. So I'm just going to stir it up without being in a panic. Okay, just take your time and merge it up a little bit. Okay, and that's it. Now you can put it back on there. You know, there's no rush with cooking. Obviously, I'm up against the clock with you guys because you get bored otherwise, I presume. So that's fine. Just put that, it's on a low heat, just going to like heat that through a little bit, okay? Whilst I actually cut open these beef and chicken stocks. So this is a beef one. How much is this? So, okay. So that's a cup. Okay, that's a cup of stock. I didn't actually know that, but each one of these packets is a cup of stock, a large cup of stock. And that'll go in a minute. I'm just going to like sort of like temper this rice a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So just pour a little bit of that stock in, not a lot. Just pour a little bit in. Because you don't like burn any of this rice. You can hear the pan sizzling, yeah? That just takes the edge off. Okay, good. And then in goes the tomato. Just this what added it. This is the base of it all, yeah. Just going to use the spoon to get every last little bit out. All the way through this lovely tomato sauce. Sorry about the noise, guys. Bit of friction there. Okay. And what you can do, just give it a little rinse with some water and every last bit. Yeah, it's not wasted. Turn that up to a medium heat now, because it's got enough juices in there to stop burning the rice. And what I'm probably going to do is cook it on the hob for 10 minutes, just say, or even less, just to get it going. And then I'm going to once I've got all the ingredients on there, then I'm going to put it in the oven for half an hour. Yeah, cutting the chicken, crack it open. Just going to put that all in there. Sure you wash the knife, because I've pierced like the packet of the chicken, so just give it a little like wash with washing up liquid. Don't take any risks with chicken. Okay. And what I've also got is here is I've got some frozen curly kale. So I found this in the freezer. It must have just been from when I last cooked with it. But I just thought that will utilise the kale that I've got, but also add a little bit of goodness and a little bit of extra flavour and colour to the dish, you know? Because there's not much vegetables in here apart from cauliflower, which is my own little spin on it. Traditionally, a paella would not contain cauliflower or curly kale. It would not. But hey, it doesn't really matter. We're utilising what we've got again. So, okay, I'm just going to turn that the wok a little bit, okay? So all that chicken is just going to soak up all of this, yeah? You can like brown the chicken and stuff, but I'm just going to almost like poach it in with the rice, you know, and by the time it's all like cooked in the oven, it's all going to be nice and tender and stuff, and then it's going to be cooked properly, so it doesn't really matter too much. Every chef or cook or person at home has got their own little, you know, paella sort of recipe probably, but this is not even my paella recipe. I'm just making it up as I go along, and that's the way I like to cook, just freestyle cooking, yeah, quarantine cooking as I like to call it, because we're utilising every last bit of food that we've got in the cottage to save money, yeah. So what's next? I've got some well actually it's not even chopped yet. I've got some fresh parsley, so I'll just roughly chop that just in advance, give me something to do whilst I'm waiting for that to heat up. And also what I actually have got, which I'm going to bung in there actually, I've got some like a nice pork chop that I got from the butchers. So I didn't mention this, but this is what I've got here. Let's have a look. It's a nice pork chop. Look at that, and it's actually flavoured. Look at that. It's he's put it in he double bagged this for me. Okay, so it's like, let's get it out. Look, it's like a nice, almost like tomato sort of paprika marinated like pork chop. So what I'm actually going to do is I think pork. I'm going to actually pre-fry this actually, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly do this. Okay, let's get this going. This is almost like a spur of the moment thing. See a bit of stock now, you can feel it just not sticking, but it's just starting to gel to the bottom of the pan, and that is when the stock goes in, yeah? So that is one whole mug of stock I've used so far in that, and that's coming up to the edge of the pan. I mean, this is not a proper paella pan, but it's the only pan that I have with a metal handle, so it could obviously be compatible with going into the oven. Okay, so I'm going to preheat the oven now. Just whack it up as far as you can go for the oven, okay, just to preheat it. So this pan is this is the minimum, the bare minimum that you want a paella dish. It's probably like 2.5 inches deep. Really, a paella pan would be straight walled and maybe 3 inches, so and wider as well, so the stock wouldn't actually rise right to the top. So this is all good, and cast iron probably, yeah. But you know, traditionally paellas were cooked on a fire, you know. Probably underneath some orange tree or something, you know, in Spain. But yeah, you don't actually put a lid on it. Yeah, you don't put a lid on it. It's quite a dry rice. Yeah, traditionally. So what happens is this. I'm going to turn that up. So once this is actually the rice is actually soaked up, all of the stock, and it's in the oven, it would just become like quite a dry dish. Like, well, not too dry, but it would just become like a dry dish. So what I'm going to do is pork chop. I've got the scissors there, so I'm just going to put that in there. I have no idea exactly what the marinade is on that pork chop, but it looked really good, irresistible, and also I couldn't get this. You know, if I see a nice bit of meat, you know, then I'm just going to buy it. Yeah. Because you never know what you're going to be getting from day to day in the shops of the butchers, you know. And the butchers, support your local butchers, because, you know, they're not much cheaper, they're not much more expensive than your supermarkets, but, you know, you don't want your local butcher going out of business, do you? You know, there's millions of Tesco Expresses, yeah? So support your local shops, yeah? That's what I say, through these hard times. And what you're finding, the actual butchers, well, my butcher anyway, I'm just going to give this a little stir just to make sure it's fine. It's basically just simmering. That's fine. Okay, good. Yeah. So my local butcher, he wakes up at 3 a.m. making sausages every day. So that's how busy he is at the moment. Yeah. But it's good. It's a good thing, man. Like keeping the local trade busy in business. You know what I mean? a lot of people are out of work, so yeah, I'd rather keep them busy than like a massive franchise, yeah? But anyway, everyone does what they can, can't they? So I'm just roughly chopping up this pork chop just to actually cook it a little bit faster. That's all I'm doing, yeah? And by the time it's all cooked in with the paella anyway, like it will sort of like just fall apart anyway, you know? Yeah, that's good. Give it a little whiz around the pan. So what I've got is the parsley here. Just going to put that in there. You can put this in like later or now, it doesn't really matter. Like I'm just putting it in now. Yeah, just let it all merge together. It's quite a long procedure, like making this, you know what I mean? I've got to wait for this to like soak up all of that stock, yeah? So what the idea is I'm not going to show you all of this, but what I do once that's reduced down, look, the pork's ready in there, so I'm just going to throw the pork in there. That just needed a little browning in the pan, so just going to cover that pork in with the stock. Yeah, make sure everything's covered. Yeah, that's bubbling up nice, yeah. But the pan isn't really big enough, but I'm making do with what I've got. So I've got the lemon here. Just going to give it a little squeeze of lemon once take it off the heat. You can see it's still quite hot. Okay, so there's the lemon. With the lemon, just squeeze it into your hands, yeah, just in case any pips. You don't want any pips going into the dish because that will taste quite bitter. Okay. It's alright. Not a very seedy lemon, so that's great. That's what I like to see. Okay. Every last bit there. Wash your hands. Right. Now what I'll do is I'll put the cauliflower in there. Put the cauliflower in there. Yeah. Just submerge it in underneath, yeah? It doesn't really matter which order it goes in. It's all going to be like nicely merged up. And what I'm going to do is in a bit, I'm going to basically, so I'm going to put this kale in there first. In a bit, what I'm going to do is put it in the oven. And I'll put it in the oven, like just slow cook it in the oven. I'll probably cook it for like 15 minutes, just say. Let that stock reduce, then top it up with another mug of stock. Sorry about that. Yeah. So another mug of stock goes in. And then what I do is after 20 minutes, I'll chop up this fish in like random bits and just put it on top, yeah, and like sink that into the stock and just let that cook in the oven for another 10 minutes. So it'll probably be like half an hour in the oven in total, yeah. That's all I'm going to be doing. That's it. So I'm going to turn that off the heat now. And as you can see, it's quite all full up to the brim, yeah? So I just need to put that into the oven, let it reduce probably by half, yeah? And then pour another mug of stock on, and then it's job done. So what I'll do is I'm just going to finish the video now, and I'll show you a photo once I've plated up. Right guys, so we're 5 minutes later from when the last video finished. What I've actually done, because I only had 2 whole mugs of chicken stock, I've given it half a cup of water, and now it's ready to go into the oven, okay? But what I had to do, because obviously, as I said before, my dish was overflowing, I've decanted some of it out into another pan, but I'm going to utilize that tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't really matter, okay? It just gives a bit of breathing space in that pot. And then I've chopped up some lemons, okay? And that will go with the chopped up fish once that has been in the oven for, say, 15 minutes. Minutes later, I've taken it out of the oven. You can see like the tomato sauce, the paella rice is getting nicely caramelized on the edge. I've chopped up the sea bass roughly, skin side up, so it gets nice and crispy there. I've squeezed the quarters of lemon all over it and then wedged them in between. All I'm going to be doing now is just pouring over a tiny bit more water. Do that. And then put it back in the oven for 10 minutes and then job done. I'll take a photo after once it's plated up.